What's up everyone, my name is Alexis. Today I'll be showing you the process that I use to create YouTube videos from start to finish. Let's get into the video. Step number 1, choose an idea. The first step in the video making process is to choose an idea. Choosing a good idea can be difficult, but it's not impossible. The simplest way to think of ideas is try to think of what kind of value you want to offer. There are many ways that you can add value, and I'll briefly go over the top 3 right now. So number 1 is educational value, tutorials. Make a step-by-step guide or instructional video on a specific topic or skill. How-to videos. You can demonstrate the process of a certain task. Educational series. Make a series of videos that build on top of each other. Entertainment value. Comedy. Something that'll make the audience laugh and be entertained. Skits and sketches. Write a short scripted performance that you can act out. Vlogs. Show your personality and lifestyle by sharing experiences or adventures in an entertaining way. Informational value. News and updates. Keep viewers informed about current events, trends, or developments. Reviews. Give your opinion on products, services, or experiences. Documentaries. Explore in-depth real-world topics or stories. So these are just the top 3 ways to provide value at a high level. Most videos will fall under one of these 3 categories. So what you have to do is just take your niche and then ask yourself, do I want to educate, do I want to entertain, or do I want to inform? Then once you start coming up with a few ideas, you can write them down on a piece of paper or some sort of note-taking app. I myself use a Notion template. I won't go into too much detail on how I built it in this video, but I'll just go over a brief way of how you can make a simple version of what I have. So to make a template like this, all you have to do is go over to notion.so and log into your account. Click create new page. You can name it something like YouTube. Then go ahead and create a new board and then click on new database. Then click on the 3 dots in the top right corner. Select properties, then select add property, then click on select and you can name it something like video status. Then go to group, select group by, then select video status. Then go ahead and click on add group. The groups that I use are ideas, scripting, filming, editing, upload, and publish. So to add the idea, you simply click on the plus sign under the idea list. So once I have the idea, I try to think of a title, and this doesn't have to be the final title, but it just has to be something, so that way I know what the idea is about. And so this is typically what will become the YouTube video title. It doesn't have to be exactly what will be the YouTube title, but it's a good start, and you can always edit it later. Step number 2, write a script. So the next step in the video making process is writing a script. You can do this in any note-taking app or really any text editor. I like to do it in Google Docs. So the way that I do it is I go to my Google Drive. I have a folder for the year. In this case, it's 2024. Then I create a folder with the video title. Then I create a Google Doc inside of that folder. Finally, I name the Google Doc script. There's many approaches that you can take for writing a script. Some people might just jot down a couple bullet points or key things that they want to talk about, whereas some other people might like to write exactly word for word. So the way that I like to do it is I kind of write as if it's a blog post, and then I just go ahead and read it. So the way that I usually like to do it is I start with the title of the video at the top, and then I write down the key chapters that'll be in the video. So for example, I'll have intro, then chapter A, chapter B, chapter C, and then final thoughts at the end. Then once I have each chapter written out, I'll start filling in the blanks. And so I'll go ahead and fill in the intro part, then chapter A, chapter B, chapter C, and the final thoughts as well. So once I have everything written out, I'll go ahead and proofread the document, and then I'll make any edits if I need to. So after doing the proofreading, now we're ready to move on to the next step. Step number 3, film. So the filming process means lights, camera, and action. So I really learned a ton about how to film yourself from this video on the screen. And I also learned a lot about how to do lighting for your YouTube videos from this video that you see here on the screen. So the tips that I'll go over in the following section are mostly from videos that I've watched and what I've learned from making videos as well. So first I'll start with the lighting and then I'll move on to filming. So in terms of lighting, there are a few things that I use. So first, I use blackout curtains to block out any light from coming in. So this way I have more control over the light in my room. Next, I have a ring light that I use in front of me. I bought this ring light from Best Buy for around $60 or so. And so I usually set it up right in front of me behind the camera. I also use some LED lights behind me just to kind of add some flavor to the video. So I was giving those LED lights as a gift, but you can find them on Amazon for anywhere from like $10 to $15. So next up for filming, usually on the type of videos that I make, I have to film some A-roll and some B-roll. So if you're not sure what A-roll or B-roll means, it's basically like primary or secondary footage. So the primary footage consists of me just like looking and talking directly to the camera right here. And then the secondary footage consists of me showing what I'm talking about. So this could be like a product or a service. So for the primary footage, I typically use my phone and my tablet to record myself. So I use my phone as a camera and then I use my tablet as a monitor. And the way that I connect my phone to my tablet is using the Samsung Flow app. So what I'll typically do is I'll make sure that both devices are on the same Wi-Fi network, and then I'll go ahead and launch the Samsung Flow app on both devices. Then on my tablet, I'll tap on the Smart View icon, and then on my phone, I go ahead and confirm that I want to mirror my screen. So this way I can record myself using the rear cameras on the Galaxy S23 Ultra, and then I use my tablet as a monitor so I can see myself while I'm filming. So once I have both devices hooked up, I'll put my phone on my tripod, and then I'll put my tablet on my bed. So the way I frame myself is I use the corner behind me to add more depth to the video, and I try to keep that corner lined up with the middle of the frame. And so I just try my best to kind of stay near the middle. So using the corner behind me just adds more depth to the video, makes everything look a lot bigger. And then before I start filming, what I usually do is I'll pull up my script either on my computer or on my smartphone. Then what I do is I read a sentence, I try to memorize it, and then I go ahead and say it to the camera. So sometimes I say the sentence word for word, other times I'm able to kind of add a little bit more words here and there. And then for the secondary footage, it's typically going to be a lot easier to film since you'll be mostly behind the camera instead of in front of it. So typically for the secondary footage, you want to be filming things that you're talking about. So if I need a lot of secondary footage, I'll just go ahead and make like a to-do list with each thing that I need to record. And then once I have my list, then I'll go through each item in the list and record each video that I need. So once I've captured all the video that I need, now it's time to move on to the editing stage. Step 4, edit. So before moving on to the editing software, it's important to know how to organize your footage. I learned a lot about how to organize my video footage from this video, and so I'll kind of go over some of the tips that I learned from that video, as well as the tips that I've learned as I've been making videos. So what I typically do is I transfer all my footage to the SSD. So I have a folder for the year, in this case it's 2024. Then I create a folder with the date and the video title. Then inside of that folder, I have a couple of subfolders. Those folders being assets, documents, edit data, and raw footage. So assets is where I put anything that was not captured in the real world. So say for example like a screenshot or a video screen recording. And then documents is where I store any documents related to the video. So this can be like the script, or if you have like a list of the B-roll shots that you need, those documents would go inside of that folder. And then edit data is where I save the project files for the video. So that would be like the DRP file that you can export from DaVinci Resolve, which is the video editing software that I use. Then raw footage is where I put anything that was captured in the real world. So this is typically where I'll put my A-roll and my B-roll. And if I happen to use different cameras, like let's say I use my Galaxy S23 Ultra and my GoPro Hero 8, then I'll name each folder by the camera name. So if I use both of those, then I'll have one folder named Galaxy S23 Ultra, and then I'll have another folder named GoPro Hero 8. And this just kind of helps you separate your footage and keep you more organized. So there are many different types of software that you can use to edit video. And so the software that I use is DaVinci Resolve. So what I'll usually do first is I'll go through the whole timeline and I'll start cutting out any dead air. So once I have cut out all the dead air, then I'll go through, and if there's any bad takes, I'll just go ahead and start cutting those out as well. Then once I'm happy with the primary footage, then it's time to go ahead and add the secondary footage. So usually for the secondary footage, I just make another layer and I layer it on top of the primary footage. Then after inputting the secondary footage, if I need any like titles, I'll go ahead and add those as well. So now once I have the primary footage, the secondary footage, and any titles that I need, now it's time to render. So what rendering means is it basically will compile all your videos into just one video. So then I go ahead and render it and save it as final video in my video folder. So the next step is to upload. Step number 5, upload. So now at the upload stage, there's just a few more steps to go. So now that we're uploading the video, it's time to make the final decision on what the video title will be. Next, I add a video description. So this could be 1 or 2 sentences describing what the video is about. So next I put the video timestamps just to make it easier for the viewer to be able to jump around to different sections that they want to see. Then once I have that going, I go ahead and upload the video as unlisted. So once I have the video uploaded as unlisted, now there's only 2 more things left to do, which is create the video thumbnail and create a pinned comment. So for the thumbnail, I try to think of one image or snapshot that will really represent what the whole video is about. So you really want to like intrigue your viewer with the thumbnail, and you also want the thumbnail to represent what your video is about. So I usually make my thumbnails in the InShot app. So this is an app for smartphones, and I use the Pro version. So once I have the thumbnail created, I go ahead and upload it to the YouTube video. So once I'm ready, I go ahead and make it public and then hit save. And then finally, the last thing that there is to do is go ahead and make a pinned comment. So this could be a question that you have for the viewers or just a comment that you have in general. But typically I like to have a pinned comment in my YouTube video. So once it's public, then I go ahead with my account and post a comment and then pin it to the top. So this way you can start getting the ball rolling when it comes to getting comments on your video. Final thoughts. So there you go. Those are the basic steps that I take every time to make a YouTube video. This is the process that works for me. It might not work for everybody, but this is just the way that I do it. Some steps might take more effort than others, but my best advice is just to take whatever you think is really complex and just break it down into small, manageable tasks, and you can get through it. So that'll be it for the video. If you liked it, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this one. In the meantime, it's been Alexis showing you the process of how to make a YouTube video from start to finish. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.